far below the surface of the ocean, below the waves, below the light, below the reach of almost every human who has ever lived. There's a world that does not feel like it belongs to Earth. A place where pressure can crush steel, where sunlight has never touched, and where life moves slowly, deliberately, as if it's watching. We've sent machines into this darkness. We've dragged nets across the bottom. And every time we look deeper, we find something that feels wrong. Not because it's dangerous, but because it challenges what we think life should be. Layer 1, the twilight zone, where light begins to die. Our journey begins around 200 meters down. Here, sunlight fades into a dim blue haze. This region is called the twilight zone. Not dark, but not alive with light either. Food is scarce here, so creatures have adapted in unsettling ways. Fish with eyes larger than their own brains. Transparent bodies, almost invisible in the water. Mouths that seem too big for bodies too small. In this world, seeing first means surviving longer. But scientists have noticed something strange. Some animals here can detect movement so faint, it's as if they're sensing life before it happens. How they do this isn't fully understood, and it raises a question. If life already looks this alien where light still exists, what happens when the light disappears completely? Layer 2. The midnight zone, life without the sun. At 1,000 meters deep, the sun is gone. No plants, no photosynthesis, no familiar food chains. And yet life continues. Here, we meet creatures that produce their own light. Bioluminescence. Tiny chemical reactions that glow in the dark, used to hunt, to hide, or to confuse. Some fish flash patterns like coded signals. Others use glowing lures, dangling in front of their mouths, baiting prey into darkness. But one detail unsettles scientists. Some species glow in colors their own eyes shouldn't be able to see. Why produce light you can't observe? Some believe it's for communication with species we haven't discovered yet. Others think it's a leftover trait from a past environment we don't understand. What we do know is this. In total darkness, evolution didn't slow down. It became creative. Layer 3, the pressure zone, where bodies should fail. As we descend further, the pressure becomes extreme. Every 10 meters adds the weight of another atmosphere. At these depths, human bones would shatter instantly. And yet, animals thrive. Their bodies aren't built like ours. No air-filled spaces. No rigid skeletons. Instead, soft tissues. Flexible forms. Cells that don't collapse under pressure. Some fish look melted. Others seem unfinished. But scientists have found something even stranger. At the cellular level, their proteins behave differently. They're structured to function under crushing force. This raises a disturbing idea. If life can adapt this far beyond our limits, what are the true boundaries of biology? Layer 4, the abyss, a world frozen in time. At 4,000 meters, we reach the abyss. Near freezing temperatures, complete darkness, and silence, broken only by drifting particles of dead matter from above. Here, creatures move slowly, extremely slowly. Some live for centuries. Some barely move at all. There are animals that eat once and survive for years. Their metabolism is so slow, it almost feels like time works differently here. But there's a mystery scientists can't answer. Why hasn't life gone extinct in a place this hostile? The energy available here shouldn't be enough. And yet, something sustains it. Something unseen. Layer 5. Hydrothermal vents. Life without the sun, rewritten. Then, something impossible appears. Cracks in the ocean floor, spewing superheated water rich in toxic chemicals. Hydrothermal vents. Temperatures hot enough to melt metal, yet surrounded by life. Giant tube worms. Blind shrimp. Entire ecosystems. These creatures don't rely on sunlight. They rely on chemistry. Bacteria convert toxic chemicals into energy, a process that feels almost unnatural. This discovery changed everything, because it proved life doesn't need the sun. And that raises a much larger question. If life can exist here, where else could it exist? Layer 6. The hadal zone, where Earth feels incomplete. Deeper still, beyond trenches most maps barely acknowledge. The Hadal Zone, places so deep, we've explored less of them than the surface of the moon. Here, cameras have captured fish that shouldn't exist. Snailfish with gelatinous bodies. Creatures surviving pressures once thought impossible. Some have no eyes. Some have no color. Some barely resemble animals at all. And scientists still don't know how long they live, how they reproduce, or how many species remain unseen. Every expedition finds something new, and that may be the most unsettling part. Ending zooming out, the deeper we go, the less the ocean feels like a place, and more like a separate world. A world operating by rules we didn't write. A world that reminds us how narrow our understanding really is. More than 80% of the deep ocean remains unexplored, meaning most of what lives there we haven't seen. Something is living in the deep ocean that feels wrong, not because it's dangerous, but because it proves the world is far stranger than we imagined. And we've only just begun to look.